lot of practical stuff along with a lot of scripture. Now, a lot of times our behavior will come from our beliefs about the world and God and ourselves. And we pick these up all throughout our life. We get some of them from childhood, some of them come from our personality, some of them come from things that we think we've been taught in the church or have been taught in the church. And we just kind of pick this up, and these become kind of like our beliefs or our worldview. Myself. Ephesians 5:29 tells us, after all, no one ever hates his own body, but he feeds it and cares for it. I want you to recognize something. There is an assumption in that scripture that it is normal, necessary, and that you're going to take care of your body well. Jesus took care of himself when he was here. He had the gift of healing, ladies. And he went to crowds and he was able to heal miraculously. And yet he left those crowds at times, didn't he? Yes. To rest, to pray, to rejuvenate, to have time for relationship with the disciples that were close to him. Philippians 2:4 tells us, each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. And Matthew 22:39 tells us to love your neighbor as yourself. Now, is there a time to take care of other people, to do something for them? Absolutely, but it is all about balance. And when you know that you need to take care of other people at times, it's still okay to take care of yourself. I use this example. If you had your child or grandchild and you were going into Disneyland and you were standing in line outside the entrance to buy a ticket, and you kept saying to the person behind you, go in front of me, you're more important than me. Go in front of me. Oh, no, no, you go in front of me. You go in front of me. You go in front of me. Ladies, could you do that? Would that be right? At some point, it's okay to get your ticket and go in that door. People. Galatians 6:5 tells us each one should carry his own load. You are not responsible for other people. You are not to do for them what they should do for themselves. You will not answer to God about what they should do for themselves. They will. Now, that includes your husbands, your parents, and your children. They will stand before the Lord and give an account of their life. It is not your responsibility to live their life for them. Just simplify, ask for help, rest and recoup, and then say no. And right there, I'm going to tell you, you've got it. There is your program for taking care of yourself. To God, your worth is 100% unrelated to what you do. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. And if we could grasp that in our soul, that our worth has nothing to do with what we do, we would be set free. Boundaries are based on stewardship. Remember the parable of the steward where you're given your talents and it's your life, okay? You've got stewardship over your life. It has to do with accountability, the fact that each of us will give an accounting of our own life to God when we get to meet him. And also has to do with that law of reaping and sowing in Galatians 6, 7, and 8, which each person reaps what they sow. I spend a lot of time working with women and having them understand, what does it really mean to accept yourself? Well, first of all, we're brutal in our self-assessments. Right up in here, okay? It doesn't even have to come out of here. It's in here. Now, Galatians 6, 3, 4 says, if anyone thinks he's something when he's nothing, he deceives himself. Each one should test his own actions. Then he can take pride in himself without comparing himself to somebody else. I love that scripture. Stop now comparing yourself to anyone. Anyone, your sister, your best friend, anyone else. You are you. Be you. Improve on you. and you're a winner. The only thing that we can know perfectly is that we will never be perfect. Therefore, if you're one of those perfectionists, get over it, okay? Get over it. It is never going to happen, because perfectionism does what? You achieve and then you move the mark. You just keep moving the mark. It's not fair. It's a guaranteed lose, perfectionism is. Unforgiveness hurts your body as well as your soul and your emotions. You have to let go. We are better at forgiving other people than we are at forgiving ourselves. I know personally I struggle with that. I've been through a lot of difficult relationships. A lot of stuff has happened, and I have had more trouble saying, Karla, the mistakes that you made and the regrets that you had, you did the best you could. I have a hard time with that, but I have to be willing to give myself that grace. So how can you love yourself well? Well, commit to nurturing yourself daily. Accept yourself just as you are and let it be good enough. Value yourself in your relationships by setting boundaries and by valuing your own needs. Forgive yourself by accepting that you did the very best you could with what you had. Let who you are today be good enough for you, because it's good enough for the Lord.
Amen.
Thank you, ladies.